What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update for you guys. Just a few snippets to get through. We're going to start off with Ivan Perisic, which we did allude to a bit yesterday. But Nazar Kinsella is telling us that Ivan Perisic is now considering his options with his current Tottenham contract set to expire at the end of the season. Hajduk Split believe they are at the front of the queue to re-sign their former academy player and could make their move as soon as the next transfer window opens in January. So obviously we are signing that 16-year-old from Hajduk Split, albeit he's not going to be here until 2025. But I think it kind of does make sense, Ivan Perisic going into the final months of his contract to make that move in January.
Yeah, I don't know if, obviously I don't think Spurs are going to be expecting any fee for him, but at 35 years of age, we know he's not going to be the future of Spurs. Yes, he's a good guy to have around the dressing room, and he's still got enough to offer quality-wise. But if we get an opportunity to let him leave and he wants to go, I think it makes sense for all parties. We do have a lot of wingers right now, albeit I'm looking at our wingers and I'm not seeing much star quality, but I feel like Perisic isn't going to be the long-term answer anyway, so I'm happy to keep him around, but if he wants to leave, I think that's best for everyone.
If Perisic does leave in January, what, because that will leave an extra spot in the squad, what kind of position do you think we target if he does go? Another centre-back?
I think it has to be centre-back just because the depth there at the moment is just threadbare. And I know we've got this young centre-back coming through, but he's not going to be here for 2 years. We need people for the here and now. Phillips and Dorrington aren't going to be here for the here and now as much as people are hopeful of that. I think it's too much pressure for two young centre-backs. So I think that has to be the position we target.
Agreed. Let's move on and let's talk about some injury concerns going into the game this weekend at Sheffield United. Giovanni Lo Celso, the Standard, reporting that Lo Celso does remain a doubt for Tottenham's Premier League match against Sheffield United. Lo Celso has only had a brief substitute appearance in the Fulham game in the Cup, and he was forced off with injury at half-time. And, you know, these are the concerns that we have consistently with Gio, you know. We know the quality that he has as a player. Maybe he hasn't shown it enough in the Tottenham shirt, but the main concern is how often we can get him on a pitch. And already, after only 45 minutes of football, we're struggling to get him on a pitch again. And
that's the perennial problem we've had with Giovanni Lo Celso. So it's very frustrating that yet again he's picked up another injury, and it was supposed to be a minor issue, but as you say, he's still a doubt for returning from the international break. So clearly, it's not something that's a small issue. It's been keeping him out for a few weeks. So let's hope he gets it resolved as soon as possible. But this is why I think if we got a good offer, I probably would have taken it, just because even though I do rate him as a player who can perform on the pitch, the problem is getting him on the pitch, and it's proving difficult at the moment. So look, if he's only a doubt for one game and then he's back at the Arsenal game, and maybe if he can stay fit, it's not a big issue, but it's just a continual problem and a pattern.
That's the thing, the point for me. Like, yeah, fine, if he's back for the Arsenal game or something, then great. But it's still a concern going into the rest of the season how often we can actually keep him fit, because only 45 minutes out injured. His career has been blighted by injury, even in his loan spells outside of Tottenham. You know, he's had his injury problems follow him around literally everywhere he's gone. So it's a massive concern, to be honest.
At least we've got Maddison for now.
Yeah, until he gets bloody injured. Yeah. Let's talk about contract situations. Heung-min Son, Paul O'Keefe says that Tottenham are now looking to extend Heung-min Son's contract, and informal talks have already taken place. I think his contract, he's got 2 years left, around about 2 years left in his contract. And with captain of the club, do you feel it's right now to offer him that new contract?
Well, he obviously signed one, didn't he, under Nuno, which was our lowest point for a while when we only signed that contract, and that was the summer Kane was looking to leave. So you've got to say, like, it was props to him for signing at that time. A lot of people wouldn't have signed. I think at this point, 100%, I think he deserves a pay rise. He's taken more responsibility. He's stayed loyal to the club when other players have looked to leave. He's still providing value for the team, and now he's club captain as well. He's taking on that more responsibility. So I think a new contract's definitely in the offing for him.
I'm reading here, it says his current contract is worth 192 grand a week.
So take it to 250.
You reckon 250?
100%. This is Heung-min Son, one of the best players in the Premier League. 100%. He deserves that.
Yeah, I don't disagree, to be honest. But let's move on to the last story of the update. And this is an interesting one regarding Daniel Levy. Ben Foster had Danny Rose on his podcast, I think it was. And Foster was asking him about bonus payments at Tottenham and how it all works. And he says apparently This is Ben Foster speaking. He says, apparently their bonus payments were almost impossible to achieve, almost impossible. To actually get paid a bonus, you would only get it for beating one of the big boys, one of the top 6 teams. And apparently, I swear on my life, this is what he said to me, you've got to beat them by 2 clear goals as well. To get the bonus, you have to obliterate your opponent. You have to beat Man City 2 or 3-0 to get that bonus payment, which is bonkers. I was saying, Rosie, there's no chance. That's impossible. And he says, I know, Fozza, I know. He said there was one time they were winning 2-0, and in the last minute they conceded a goal, and everyone was looking at each other. Okay, come on, lads, we've missed out on our bonus here, and they've still won the big game. So Daniel Levy, this, isn't it?
That is very Daniel Levy.
Classic.
But I don't quite believe it. I don't quite believe that's the only bonuses they get, because I remember there was talks when Kane was signing contract that he was on like 150 grand a week, but was very heavily bonus incentivized when it came to goals and things. So I'm sure that was a bonus. I really don't believe that was the only bonus they had in their contract, to be honest. I think they probably had more bonuses involved in that.
Yeah, I mean, like in that time with Harry Kane, that was a time when like Spurs weren't paying like big contracts and stuff, and they just put a goal bonus in for Kane because they know he would be earning quite a lot of money if those goal bonuses are met. So maybe Harry Kane had those goal bonuses, but we don't know about anyone else's, and we've never heard about anyone else having these kind of bonuses in their contract.
I think it's pretty well known that a lot of the Tottenham contracts are very heavily bonus incentivized. I think
bonus incentivized is if you beat the top 6 couple.
No, I think it would have been. I think that was probably part of it. I don't deny that's probably a bonus in the contract. I don't believe for a second that's the only bonus in the contract, and unless they get that, they don't get any bonus. I don't believe that, but it is very Daniel Levy for like, instead of like having a win against the big 6, you have to have it by 2 clear goals. That is something I definitely believe, and it's very cheeky. Like, you should definitely just have, you beat a top 6 team, that's a bonus, like 100%. And to put a stipulation that has to be 2 clear goals is ridiculous in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think the players kind of react to that and take to that? Do you think like they're just thinking, all right, it's just what the club are doing, and I don't need to take too much notice of it? Or do you think they leave a bit of a bitter taste in their mouth?
Well, they're probably thinking like, okay, you've put this bonus in, we have to beat Man City by 2 clear goals, and you're giving us all these players, we're cheapskating a lot of these players. Maybe not so much now, we're paying a bit more money, but definitely back then, they're probably feeling that, we're getting like Nkudu and Ng, and then the only bonus we're getting, or one of the bonuses we're getting, is beating these big teams by 2 clear goals, and you're giving us these cheap players. So obviously that must be a bit frustrating. But look, as I say, I don't think that was the only bonus. I don't think that was the only bonus they had in their contract. So
what other bonuses do you reckon they could have had in their contract?
Loads of things. There's bonuses for every little thing, I think, for a lot of things. Like I'm sure all the players had goal bonuses. I'm sure they all had assist bonuses. I'm sure they all had win bonuses. I'm sure that bonus was in there, but I don't think that was the only bonus in there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, to know like what those kind of bonuses were for someone like Danny Rose, who's a left back, who
clean sheet bonus, I presume.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't get that many assists a season, doesn't get that many goals a season. Maybe clean sheet as well. But in terms of like when you really want to celebrate that win against the top 6 and you let in a goal in the last minute from a 2-0 win, do you think that puts like a dampener in the dressing room? I'd
like to think not, but clearly he's implying they were thinking about it, so maybe a bit. But I'd like to think that the win would overshadow any of that.
Well, it depends like who you are, I guess. Like maybe like a Harry Kane, it probably wouldn't matter too much, but maybe players of a certain mentality would be going into that dressing room kind of a bit downhearted or downbeat. And that's not really what you want around your squad, is it?
Then if you're a player like that, then I don't want them in your squad.
Yeah, I know, obviously, but I mean, I'm sure we've had many players like that over the period.
Probably, yeah, I would assume.
So anyway, it is what it is. That is the situation. That is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all those news stories today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.